If you're a solo player on Modern Warfare 2, you know how much of a nightmare queuing up for ranked can be. You want to progress as far as possible, from bronze to iridescent, or even to the top 250 among the pros. But when you're running into full 4-stack teams every game, it can be difficult to string together some wins. In today's video, I'll be telling you guys how I made it to iridescent running completely solo in only a few weeks. Now, for those of you guys thinking, well, I have work and school and I just don't have time. I work a full-time job. I just had a newborn baby and I have a family to tend to. It is possible. All you have to do is follow these tips and you'll make it to the rank that you deserve. Now realize, not everyone is good enough to reach Crimson and Iridescent. That's the whole point of ranked. But if you're solo, it'll be much harder for you to be placed in the correct skill division for yourself. I recommend taking a step back and thinking of where you truly believe you should be, and be honest with yourself. Are you a top tier player? Do you belong in Iridescent? Or are you just outside of the top tier of Sweat? If so, then maybe just trying to hit Crimson would be a good idea for you, and if you hit Iridescent, even better. Are you a pretty good player? Well, Diamond's a solid division to reach. Don't stress yourself over reaching the top rank, just aim for where you feel like you belong, and then once you reach it, now it's time to try to improve each game and try to get past what you already accomplished. Also, hi, my name is Redix, and if you like informational videos along with some good gameplay, I feel like I provide both of those, so if you guys want to stick around, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We're almost at 2K subs. I'd love to hit that before my next video comes out. I appreciate you guys. Here come the tips. First tip is the correct classes. I'll show you guys what I've been running so far, but I really only used 3 classes on my way to Iridescent. Now lately people have been experimenting with the Vel 46 and you'll see some clips of that in here. You could occasionally even run the Kastov or the Lockman sub, but once you get to Crimson and maybe even Diamond, the demons will have the Vaznevs and TAC 56s. That's it. They won't be running anything else, and you won't really be keeping up with them easily if you're using a non-meta weapon. I recommend not using a barrel on the Vaznev, and same goes for running any red dot sights on weapons. The reason for that is because in Modern Warfare 2 2022, every attachment slows down your ADS speed by quite a bit. And if I have a no barrel, no sight Vaznev against your red dot and long barrel Vaznev, my gun's gonna aim and shoot much faster than yours. In a game with such a fast TTK or time to kill, every single millisecond matters. If you want to have fun using non-meta weapons, then by all means do so, but don't be surprised if you end up hard stuck in Platinum or Diamond, unless you're just that much better than everyone you're playing against. I didn't have the MP7 class handy for this video, but there's plenty of them on YouTube. Just go look at what Shotzzy uses. That's probably a good baseline. My second tip for you guys is stress relief. Now, as I mentioned, I work full-time in a sales role. Some days are rough on my mental, and I'm just not there mentally to play a solo queue and stress myself out trying to make up for random teammates. The kids you play against have probably been on grinding all day. If it's a rough night, just take a break. Try again the next day. I took an entire week off recently before hitting Iridescent because I was just too tired after work to keep up with the Crimson Demons. One night I was out of it and I was playing really bad, and instead of getting off, I forced it. It was the only night I went backwards in SR. I didn't just lose some SR, I lost something like 12 out of 14 games I played. Every player is important in ranked. If you're not playing your best, and you're not pulling your weight, head to pubs, or maybe Warzone for the night. Or just relax and try again tomorrow. Trust me, it sounds corny, it sounds obvious, but it's worth it. You have plenty of time to reach top tier, just take a break. Tip number 3. Check your teammates. At the start as a solo player, check your teammates' weapons. It's ideal to have 2 ARs and 2 SMGs on a team. Now some maps and modes can work out a bit different, but I always run whatever's needed. As a solo player, you have the chance to kind of tip the scales of how the game can go. I'm a very aggressive player who knows how to get spawns, manipulate spawns, cut players off who are taking routes, and also have really good gun skill. So I should be on a Vaznev if I want to be the best player I can be. But I also know how to hold angles with a TAC 56. I know how to toss my trophy where it's needed, and how to watch choke points for my teammates that are rushing with their SMGs. As a solo player, it's important to be able to do both. Pay attention to your teammates, watch them on the minimap, and if you have one player watching your back alley, for example, you can ignore the door behind you. But if they die, turn around and watch it. But if they're covering it, pay attention to another spot. so that you can have as many lanes covered as possible. Making sure you're watching your teammates' positioning on the minimap is huge, that way you're not wasting your time aiming at a door that's already being covered. If your team's being too slow on rotations, rotate extra early, get into a head glitch, and set up for the next hard point. Speaking of which, tip 4 is learn how to play each game mode like a pro. You don't need the insane raw gun skill someone like Dashy has to be great. I can make separate guides on each mode if you'd like, just ask in the comments, but you can find plenty of videos on how to really break it all down, from Rambo Ray to methods. But to summarize it, in hardpoint, learn the rotation cycle of the hardpoints. At around 15 to 20 seconds left on the current hardpoint, start rotating to the next one and hold it down until your team gets there. Now if your whole team has already rotated or they're already spawning on the new hardpoint, then you can stay at the old one and try to soak up the scrap time. Ideally, they'll spawn with you at the new hill if they die if you're the one who has to rotate. Don't be the guy running to the old hardpoint with 11 seconds left on it, trying to be a hero and breaking the other team for just 5 points, just to have all of the enemies that you killed respawn at the new hardpoint while you and your teammates are spawning by you at the old one. In search, play your life and give comms if you can. I know playing solo sometimes you may not have a microphone on, but dying first leaves your teammates in a 4v3. At least letting them know where you died and who killed you would be useful. And nothing in search is more important than having numbers, life advantage. If it's 4-3, you're at a severe disadvantage already. If you planted the bomb, play it safe and milk the clock. Don't be too aggressive on defense either. Let the other team make mistakes. You don't need to overcomplicate it. They have to plant, not you. On offense, find yourself some good routes and spots that you like that you can find a pick or two before trying to plant. A 4v2 with the bomb planted is almost a guaranteed win for you. Be smart, play search and destroy like a rat, and as far as control, play that one a little bit slower. Control in Call of Duty is like a chess match. On offense, if you can get 3 players dead for the enemy team, your team should be stacking the points. One player capturing a point in Control takes forever. If you have 3 to 4 players stacking the point, and 3 to 4 enemy players dead, you're gonna capture the point before the enemy team can respawn and reach the hill again. Make sure you're paying attention to the kill feed in Control. If you see 3 enemies die, you should be hopping on a point, even if you don't know where the 4th is. Get that progress, it's useful. On defense, get into some strong power points and never throw your life. What that means is, if you see 2 teammates die, make sure you at least stay alive or stall the enemy until your team respawns. Don't try to be the hero and pull a 3-piece off of the hill. Just try to stay alive and buy your teammates time. That way you actually have a chance. If 2 to 3 teammates die and you get too aggressive, you will die and you will lose the round in a heartbeat. Like I said, remember, when you're playing Control, think of it like a chess match. Think of it like something that you need to pay attention to every last detail from your team and the opponent. Also, here's a quick side note. Now, this is not a tip, but not everyone is hacking. You're gonna think a lot of people are. But I will say, a recent statistic given from a news article stated that there is a hacker in over 60% of ranked matches. Yeah, that's right, over half of your games probably have a hacker that's using walls, UAV hacks, soft aim, or even some that blatantly aimbot. This statistic mostly applies to Crimson rank and above, but I did run into a decent amount of hackers on my way to Crimson. I will also mention that I won't be going for top rank again after this season, aka Iridescent, and the reason for that is because of the insane amount of hackers once you reach Crimson rank. It's just too stressful, and I advise everyone else to also only try to reach Crimson. It'll save you a lot of frustration. They won't all be blatant as well. A lot of them will throw their life. They might go 10 and 22, trying to pretend they're not hacking, but those 10 kills that they will get will be in super important situations. They think they're slick, but that's alright. Just keep playing, keep grinding, and don't get too annoyed when you see them. But I do, so I don't blame you. Alright, with that out of the way, tip number 6, it's really simple, but it's incredibly important. Spawns. Now this one, like I said, it's simple. This only applies to the hardpoint game mode, but that is the game mode you're going to probably play most often unless you're really unlucky and get searched 48 times in a row. In hardpoint, you need to control the spawn game if you want to win. If your team is fighting for P1 on Mercado, for example, try to get the spawn set up for P2. Same thing goes for Zarqwa especially. Those P2 spawns are crucial on both of those maps. If your team already has the spawns for the next point, you may just need to sit back and hold them. Good opponents will often hit hard flanks to get the spawn secured for their team, so if you notice all of your teammates leave the spawn, you may need to just sit back and defend it. I know it's not the most fun thing, but once you can find a way to enjoy things like this, like getting spawns, even though you may not be dropping 45 kills, you're being very, very important to your team. There is a game inside of the game, and one part of it is getting to the hard point and getting points, but the other game is controlling and manipulating the spawns to make it easier on you and your teammates. Sometimes you can win games just by getting the spawns and setting up at the new hill first, even if the other team is clearly more skilled than you and your team. Spawns oftentimes decide the winner in hardpoint. Now tip 7 pretty much piggybacks off of tip 6, which it is comms, meaning you need to learn the callouts of the maps, and you need to provide them to your teammates. Yeah, usually they're gonna be randoms, and they probably won't listen. Maybe they don't even have a headset on. But when I solo queue and my randoms are giving me comms, it elevates my game to a new level. I feel like a walking UAV personally because I'm always calling out everything I see, telling my teammates who killed me, what direction they ran, what weapon they were using, if there were multiple enemies, etc. It helps a ton, and it can never hurt the team unless you give them the wrong call out. For example, if I die on Embassy Hardpoint from a guy on the catwalk and he hops down towards orange, my call out would simply be one catwalk going orange, right? Or one catwalk he went bottom orange. If he's hurt, but his teammate killed me, I might say there's two catwalk, one went bottom orange, the other's still hurt top catwalk. I'm consistently telling my team as much information as I can because it makes it easy on them, right? There's no UAVs in ranked, there's not even red dots on the mini-map. But I have comms, I have eyes, and I'm a very aggressive player, so I'm always getting up and into engagements, so I have a lot of information I can provide. So do you. Make sure you do it. Basically what I'm saying is you should always be giving as much information as possible to your teammates, and as frustrating as this game can be at times, you're a detriment to your team if every time you die, you're complaining about it instead of telling them where the person is that killed you. Alright, we're flying through the list now. Tip number 8 is awareness. One of the main skills in Call of Duty has always been awareness, with things like your minimap, possible routes that you could take and possible routes other people could be taking, and head glitches and power points on the map, team positioning, etc. You need to be able to glance at your minimap every few seconds to gather info. This is why a lot of good players get called hackers, because they're always looking at their minimap. Hacker hunters seem to think that means they're looking at a separate monitor for UAV hacks or something like that, but in reality, anyone who's good at Call of Duty is going to check their minimap very, very often. Now, of course, there's no red dots on the minimap anymore, so when enemies shoot, you don't see anything. But the minimap still tells you very useful information, mainly where your teammates are. As I mentioned earlier, it gives you an idea of where your teammates are watching, where they're spawning, and where you'll likely spawn, or where the other team will likely be spawning, depending on where your team is located. If you're running down mid on any map, and then you check the minimap, if it tells you that one teammate is running down the right lane, and one died in the left lane, you know that at least one enemy, if not multiple, are on your left somewhere. That also tells you don't run out on the left side, you'll probably just get picked off. Check the minimap again and see your other teammate made it around the right lane, so now you know that the entire enemy team is either middle or on the left. 4 people, just like that, just from looking at the minimap, you know exactly where the entire enemy team is at for the most part. Not literally exactly where they are, but their general area. That gives you an opportunity to now make plays, take different routes, hit a flank, whatever you have to do. They're likely going to be split between the middle and left lane if you know your teammate ran through the right lane untouched. That'll give you a much better idea of at least where to look, or give you an idea of maybe you should hit the brakes and sit on a head glitch, or maybe you can even hit a pinch with your teammates. But that's just the general idea of what you can do to gain some awareness. There's a lot of other things, just make sure you're at least using the minimap. Okay, coming down to the last 2 tips. Now, tip number 9 is going to be a little interesting because it's all about having the correct settings. Now, I'm going to show you guys a quick video here that I recorded of my settings, which includes my graphics and controller settings. Now, remember, these are specifically for my PC, so yours may, well, probably will differ. The main goal is just a smooth experience from aim to FPS. Right, what's going on, boys? Redix here, still same video. Here, let's take a look at my settings, because like I said, this is a really important part because you can't be, you know, chopping frames and whatnot as you play. Now, first of all, I play on full screen exclusive. It's on full screen borderless because I was working from home and I was doing a little bit of playing. But this is my my setup here, full screen exclusive. And you guys can pause at any point. The video's already long. I don't want to make it go too long. I'm just showing you guys what my settings are. They may work for you, they may not, but this is what works for me. So this is what I'm showing you guys. Let me apply these real quick. Here, I'll show you. I'll try to go through everything here. I'm not gonna sit here and try to explain what it all means because I don't know. I am not that smart. I am just a decent Call of Duty player, and that's what I'm here to tell you guys about. Not here to tell you guys about how on-demand texture streaming works. I don't know, but here's what I got. I don't even know if this is right. Is this good? I don't know. My frames aren't great compared to, like, I have a 3060 Ti. You know, my stuff should be a little bit better, so you might be able to get better settings elsewhere. But to be fair, these settings I made it to Iridescent using. I don't know why my FOV is on 117. I usually have it on 115. I might have just changed it one day just because. But yeah, that's kind of it for that. And then I will, like I said, show you guys my controller settings. I have a video coming out soon on my new controller here, but I use a Scuff Reflex FPS. I got the Scump edition. I love it. It's pretty dope. But anyway, this is what I use. So I have all 4 paddles on the back. I take advantage of that, and that's why I play on default. I used to play on tactical my whole life pretty much until last year when I got the 4 paddles going on the controller. So now, you know, I would slide and dive and things like that with the paddle instead of with my stick. It made it to where it didn't really interrupt my aiming very much. And I liked that. There we go. Boom, bang. A couple of these are important. So, like, as far as like these settings here, make sure you copy these. These are important ones. A few in here are important too. Obviously, like aim assist type. Some people go for Black Ops. Some people go for default. Most of the pros in the Call of Duty League are running default, so I just copy off them. Dynamics, what everyone uses. This is personal preference, but this is what I like to run. I do the custom sensitivity per zoom, and this is what I've been running since Rebirth Island first came out, or since actually probably Verdansk first came out. So yeah, there you go with that. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but it's pretty good. These I just changed when I got my new controller. They were way higher because my controller has stick drift. So again, those will vary for yourself as well. Make sure all this is off. It will absolutely destroy your aim if you have this gyro, gravity vector, all that stuff on. I might have a few settings that need updated here. I will be honest with you. But this is, like I said, I'm just showing you guys what I used to get to Iridescent. So you can copy whatever you want. You can use anything different as well. It's all about personal preference. There it is. Hey, real quick while we're here, hopefully you guys are enjoying the video. Just something new I'm trying. I like to do informative videos, tutorials, things like that. And this one I thought, look, I made it to Iridescent, playing completely solo on this account. The gameplay you're seeing in the video, I put in the comments. I kind of give you guys an idea. The reason that I have some of my friends on my team in my in the gameplay you see on the video, and I also don't have Orion, and I'm not Iridescent, is because I have a separate account on Steam that I use to play with my friends because I hit Crimson before they even started playing ranked, so we weren't able to play together. So I had to buy a whole new copy just to play with them, but that's all right. Anyway, hopefully you guys are enjoying. Thanks, I appreciate you guys. Drop a like, it would mean the world. And did I tell you I have a new baby? She's not in the seat right here, but I have a new baby, so I'm not shameless in asking for some support. Thank you, I appreciate you guys. Enjoy the rest of the video. Alright, here we are, the final tip, at least for this video. I saved this one for last because it's for the people who really watch till the end and really do want to improve in their game. Find a corner. That's right, tip number 10 is find a corner and play like a rat. Now, let me make it make sense. If you're making the other team mad at you and your playstyle, then you're doing something right. Now think about it, when you play ranked and you die to someone in a random corner who's strictly there just to cut off your rotation, and then you try to find them when you spawn, and you're trying to kill them, but now they're in a new, even rattier corner, or maybe now they move to a different head glitch. For the rest of the game, you're going to be watching your back, you're going to be thinking about that player, checking corners, being a little bit more timid when it comes to your aggression. That's why ranked is different from pubs when it comes to camping. See, camping a corner in a shipment match is pretty lame, but camping a corner on El Asilo could ultimately win your team the game in ranked. The key to using corners is to switch it up after each kill, never stay in the same spot. If you're in the enemy spawn and you keep killing them off their spawn in a new corner each time, they're going to be forced to look for you as a team, allowing your teammates to get hill time, to capture points in control, or to push up with you to really facilitate a lethal spawn trap. Now, there is a time and a place for this. Sometimes you need to be aggressive and play with your team and fly around the map. But sometimes if the other team's a little overly aggressive, right, you can lay back, sit in a corner, cut them off, and then you know they're going to look for you next time, so go to a completely different corner, watching their angles, right? If they're going to come through a gate looking for you in the old spot, make sure you can watch that gate from your new spot. Yeah, this one's pretty self-explanatory, but I just wanted to make sure to put this in here for people who maybe don't want to get called a camper in ranked. Or I do hear when I play with some of my friends that they'll run into a room and they'll die to someone in a corner, and then they'll say, "Why are you in that corner? Why are you playing like that?" But the thing is, that's just how it works in ranked. Unfortunately, but that's just a part of the game. That's just how it goes. And believe it or not, is a very useful playstyle that every single professional team in the Call of Duty League utilizes. I guess to kind of add on to this to make the tip make more sense, it's not just about finding a corner. Make sure you do whatever you have to do to feel like Cellium, right? If you watch the Call of Duty League, you know he's super annoying. He's just always doing something to annoy the other team. So the other team always has to kind of focus on him, right? Or at least try to figure out a way to get away from him so that he can't keep cutting you off from your spawn. That's the main thing I mean here. And that's all the tips I have for you today. Now, there's thousands of other tips I'm sure I could give you. Map, mode, gun, player specific, everything. But I wanted to condense this, right, into the top 10 most important tips for someone trying to reach Iridescent solo. Like I said, don't necessarily aim for Iridescent unless you really are just a top tier player. Because going for that solo, it's gonna take, it took me, I was off and on between obviously working, having the baby and everything like that. I did hit it relatively quick, I will say, but it was very, very stressful. Like I said, it's not for everyone, but you can at least aim for Crimson because the Crimson skin that you get is actually pretty cool. And the only reason I really wanted Iridescent anyway was for the Iridescent skin for when I play Warzone, because hopefully they get that game out of the dumpster. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I will have a lot of content coming soon now. This is just the main video I wanted to get out because I want to get a lot of Iridescent gameplay. And my friends actually gave me the idea that using this new account that you see the gameplay from in the video, I should maybe next season try to reach Iridescent on 2 separate accounts. So that might be some content I stream or something like that. If that would interest you guys, let me know. But a lot of ranked and Warzone content coming soon. Subscribe, turn on notifications, all that good stuff. Leave a comment. If you made it this far, I'll shout you out in the next video if you comment OBJ. OBJ. That being said, thank you guys for watching. I've been Redix. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.